think that's a great question, and it's probably got a couple parts. I think the first message that I'd like to give is don't big time anybody and communicate. If you get a message, whether it's a DM, a text message, a phone call, return it. No matter if it's a school, you can't just rule schools out. Now you could say, "Hey, I'm a Southern California kid and I don't want to go to North Dakota or South Dakota because it's too cold." I can get some of that, but you know, don't rule anything out. Hear what they have to say. Listen to coaches, and then make yourself a list of 5 questions or 5 things that are very important to you in making a decision. Not as, do you wear Nike, Under Armour, Adidas? What jersey number do I get? How much? What's your attendance? Because everyone's going to say, "Well, what type of offense do you run?" And then I'll explain it to him, and the guy's like looking at me like, "What are you talking about? What does that mean?" It's like, don't ask such generic questions. How do you see me in your system? How do I fit in your system? My skill set. What degrees do you offer? What kind of counseling do you have? A full-time athletic counselor? All those kind of things. Whatever it is, sit down with your parents and find the 5 most important things, because really when it's all said and done, it's all about fit. It's all about finding the right fit for you is the most important thing. Because if you take a scholarship or you walk on at a school and you only went there for the wrong reasons, you're going to end up leaving. That's why we have 2,500 people or whatever, 25,000 they'll probably get to in the transfer portal, because they went somewhere thinking, and then tough it out. The first sign of adversity, you got to have some perseverance in this world. If the coach yells at you, it doesn't mean you should transfer. I mean, and the reason I say that about don't big time anybody, I have a great example of a kid right now that was getting recruited to a D2, and then the guy gets a job at an FCS school, and he remembered him from D2, and he did give him the time of day, and so now the guy's recruiting him at the FCS school. But I've even had some that have gone from D2 to FCS and then gone to an FBS school. And even though they were recruiting them at a lower level, you never know when that guy is going to, take another job. Or I've even had D2 coaches say, "Hey, I know you're a D1 player. I've got my buddies over at Nevada. I'm going to call him about you." And I've done that before, because you developed a relationship. It's about developing relationships with coaches. Coaches move on. Don't ever pick a school because of a coach, even though a lot of us do,
Yeah.
because they can move as easy as you can now. The transfer portal for coaches is just as big as the transfer portal for players. So don't big time anybody. Figure out what those 5 things you want are, and then it makes it very easy. You list those 5 things on a spreadsheet, you put your other schools on the top, and then you go down and put yes or no. Does this school fit in that? And you add up the yeses, and the one that has the most yeses maybe should be your choice.
Yeah.
But then if you allow ego into that, it could, make it a little more fuzzier.